Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and seen a perfect reflection of yourself, only to realize, with a slow, chilling certainty, that you are staring into a void? That the person you share a bed with, the person who knows the rhythm of your breath when you sleep, is, in fact, a masterful architect of a separate, hidden reality. This is not a lecture about infidelity, not in the simple, moralistic sense. This is a dissection of the human psyche, a journey into the shadowlands of a man's mind when he becomes a cheater. But we are not here to judge. Judgment is for the knave. We are here to understand, to see the machinery behind the mask, for in that understanding lies a power far greater than revenge, the power of foresight, of strategic defense, and a profound, unsettling wisdom about human nature itself. What I am about to reveal to you is a forbidden knowledge. It is the dark psychology of the cheating husband, framed not through tears, but through the cold, clear lens of Machiavellian strategy, Jungian shadows, and the brutal truths of social dominance. You will be unsettled. You may even see a part of yourself you wish to deny. But if you have the courage to continue, you will never see relationships' power or the person lying next to you in the same way again. Welcome to Psycho Smart, students of human nature. The common narrative tells us that a man cheats because of lust, or boredom, or a failing marriage. These are surface, level symptoms, the ripples on a much deeper, darker ocean. To believe that is to believe a fairy tale designed to keep you blind. The truth is far more terrifying and far more intellectually stimulating. A man who masterfully conceals an affair is not merely breaking a promise. He is engaging in one of the most complex psychological operations a human being can undertake. He is building a double life, managing two separate realities, and manipulating the perceptions of the person who is closest to him. He is, for all intents and purposes, running a covert intelligence agency with a single asset, himself. He is practicing a form of dark artistry. Consider this: the Stanford Prison Experiment showed us that ordinary people, given a role and a little power, can become monstrous. The cheating husband is not necessarily a monster. He is often an ordinary man who has stepped into a specific psychological role, that of the sovereign of his secret kingdom. In this kingdom, he is the ultimate authority. His wife, the very person he is deceiving, becomes an unwitting citizen of this kingdom, her every action monitored and managed to maintain his rule. The Milgram experiment taught us about obedience to authority. But what happens when a man becomes his own ultimate authority, severing the moral tether to his primary relationship? He enters a state of moral autonomy that is both intoxicating and profoundly dangerous. This is not about sex. This is about power. It is about the thrill of dominion over reality itself. The French philosopher Jean Baudrillard spoke of the simulacrum, a copy without an original. The cheating husband creates a simulacrum of his marriage, a perfect, believable copy that hides the crumbling original. He presents this copy to his wife while he lives in the gritty, real world of his secret life. Your husband, the man you love, might be a creator of fictions, a storyteller whose most compelling narrative is the one he tells you, and the most chilling part, he may not even fully understand why he is doing it. He is driven by forces deep within the human psyche, forces we are about to expose. But to truly grasp the architecture of this deception, we must first descend into the foundational layer of his mind. We must understand the psychological bedrock upon which his secret kingdom is built. This journey will change how you see every relationship you have ever had, and what you learn about the three core psychological drivers may force you to re-evaluate your own nature. If you are beginning to see the hidden layers behind a simple act of betrayal, hit the like button now. It tells the algorithm you are ready for a deeper truth, and it ensures this knowledge reaches those who need it most. There are three primary, interconnected psychological drivers that form the foundation of the sophisticated cheater. They are not excuses, they are explanations. And to the strategist, an explanation is a blueprint for prediction and control. Driver 1. The sovereignty paradox. Every human being has a fundamental desire for autonomy, to be the author of their own life, the king of their own castle. In a long-term relationship, especially marriage, boundaries necessarily merge. Lives become shared. For a certain personality type, this merging can feel like an annexation. The psychologist Carl Jung called this the shadow. The parts of ourselves we repress to fit into society, into our relationships. The responsible husband, the good father, the reliable man. This is the persona. But the shadow, which craves rebellion, freedom, and transgression, does not disappear. It grows in the darkness. The cheating husband is not seeking another person. He is seeking an escape from the prison of his own persona. His affair is a secret garden where his shadow can play. It is a territory where he is not husband or father, but simply a man, unbounded. This is the sovereignty paradox. He feels he must break the rules of his kingdom to truly feel like its king. He experiences a profound, albeit twisted, sense of selfhood in the deception itself. The late night text deleted, the credit card receipt shredded, the alibi perfectly crafted. Each act is a reformation of his own agency, his own cleverness, his own separate will. It is a drug more potent than any affair, the drug of autonomous power. Driver 2, the narcissistic supply chain. Now we enter the realm of the dark triad, a cluster of personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. The sophisticated cheater is often high in the first two. A narcissist does not love himself. He is addicted to what psychoanalyst Otto Kernberg called narcissistic supply. This is the external validation, the admiration, the attention that feeds his fragile ego. A wife's love becomes familiar, expected. It is a steady, reliable income, but for the narcissist it is not enough. The adrenaline rush of a new conquest. The new woman does not provide better love. She provides novel admiration. She sees him not for who he is, but for the idealized image he projects. She is a fresh audience for his greatest performance himself. The Machiavellian element is the cold calculation. He views relationships strategically. He is the prince, and his wife and his mistress are duchies in his empire. He must manage them both. He will employ charm, emotional manipulation, and strategic petty to keep his wife placated and unsuspecting. He will use future faking, promising a future he never intends to deliver, to keep his mistress invested. He is not a passionate man swept away by emotion. He is a CEO managing the competing interests of two subsidiaries to maximize his own emotional profit. His heart is not an organ of feeling, it is a boardroom. Driver 3, the terror of existential insignificance. This is the deepest, most philosophical driver. The existential philosophers, Camus, Sartre, wrote of the absurdity of life and the terror of our own fleeting existence. For many men, as they age, the weight of this becomes crushing. The career plateaus, the body softens, the future narrows into a predictable path towards death. An affair is a rebellion against this entropy. It is a desperate, clawing attempt to feel alive. The secrecy, the risk, the illicit meetings, they create a state of hyper-awareness. The colors are brighter. The senses are heightened. In the arms of his mistress, he is not a man sliding towards oblivion, he is a protagonist in a thrilling story. The historian Will Durant summarized Aristotle's view of tragedy, noting that it is meant to produce a catharsis through pity and terror. The cheating husband is staging his own personal tragedy to feel that catharsis. The pity he manipulates from his wife, the terror of being caught. These are the ingredients for his existential antidote. He would rather be a villain in a dramatic story than a ghost in a peaceful one. These three drivers, the sovereignty paradox, the narcissistic supply chain, and the terror of existential insignificance, form the unholy trinity of the cheating psyche. But understanding the soil is not enough. We must now examine the seeds. We must look to history, to the masters of power and deception, to see how these drives have been executed on a grand scale. For the strategies your husband uses are not new. They are the domesticated, intimate applications of tactics used by emperors, spies, and the most powerful men in history. I want you to look at the comments section for a moment. I will be reading them. Tell me, which of these three drivers do you find the most terrifying? The sovereignty, the narcissism, or the existential terror? Comment below. Your insight is data for our continued study. To believe your husband's deception is a unique, personal sin is to misunderstand history. He is merely an amateur actor in a play written by masters. Let us pull back the curtain and meet the playwrights. Niccolo Machiavelli himself, in The Prince, did not explicitly advise on adultery, but his entire philosophy is a masterclass in the strategic management of power and perception. The core competencies of the cheater. Consider Cesare Borgia, Machiavelli's prime example. Borgia was a master of realpolitik. When he conquered a new territory, he would install a ruthless governor to pacify the population through fear. Once the people were subdued, Borgia would have the governor executed in a public and brutal spectacle, thereby appearing as a just and stern ruler who cared for his people. This is power partitioning. He divided the roles of tyrant and savior between two entities, then sacrificed one to consolidate the power of the other. Your husband is doing the same. He has partitioned his life. You are the primary kingdom, the source of stability, legacy, social standing. The mistress is the ruthless governor, the source of excitement, transgression, and dark passion. His greatest fear is not your anger, but the collision of these two partitions. His entire strategic effort is dedicated to maintaining this separation. He is the Cesare Borgia of his own life, and he will sacrifice the governor, the mistress, in a heartbeat if it means preserving the kingdom, his marriage. The tears, the promises, the "I never loved her." This is his public execution of the governor, a calculated act perceived justice. Here is another case that comes to mind. During the Cold War, the most valuable intelligence assets were not the spies in the field, but the molars, or double agents buried deep within the enemy's apparatus. Kim Philby, a high-ranking MI6 officer, was a Soviet double agent for decades. His success was not based on brute force, but on the meticulous management of a double life. He mastered several techniques your husband uses daily. Compartmentalization. Philby kept his lives in sealed mental boxes. Your husband does the same. The family man box must never leak into the secret self box. He can be building a Lego set with his children at 6 p.m. and an hour later be crafting a sensual text to his lover. The mental firewall is absolute. The duality of truth. A double agent deals not in lies, but in selective truths. He tells each side just enough truth to be believable, while omitting the catastrophic details. When your husband says, "I'm working late," he is. He just omits that his work is in a hotel room. This is far more convincing than a pure fabrication. The manufacturing of normalcy. Philby was charming, reliable, and above suspicion. He used his impeccable reputation as a shield. Your husband does the same. He may become more attentive, more involved in family life, not out of guilt, but as a strategic misdirection. He is building a fortress of normalcy so strong that the idea of him being a traitor seems absurd. He is hiding the betrayal in plain sight. Your husband is not a passionate lover. He is a counterintelligence officer, and you are the agency he has infiltrated. In the 1980s, corporate raiders like Carl Icahn would identify undervalued companies, acquire them, and strip their assets to maximize short-term profit, often leaving the corporate shell to collapse. This is a brutal metaphor for the resource-based view of infidelity. A man has limited resources: time, energy, emotional capacity, and money. When he begins an affair, he becomes a corporate raider of his own life. He must reallocate these finite resources from the primary corporation, his family, to the new speculative venture, the affair. The late nights at the office are a reallocation of time. The emotional distance is a reallocation of emotional energy. The secret dinners and hotel rooms are a reallocation of financial assets. He is, quite literally, investing in his secret kingdom at the expense of his public one. He is stripping the marital assets, not just financial, but emotional and temporal, to fund his shadow enterprise. He is betting that the primary corporation, you, is stable enough to withstand the slow bleed. He is a terrible CEO, but a brilliant raider. These historical and corporate parallels are not mere metaphors. They are the same psychological principles, scaled differently. The drive for power, the management of information, the allocation of resources, these are the timeless laws of human strategy. But how does this abstract strategy manifest in the cold, hard reality of your living room? What are the tangible, detectable tactics? The next chapter will arm you with a predator's ability to see the invisible, to hear the silence, and to feel the shift in the emotional atmosphere of your own home. Before we continue, I must ask you to subscribe. The knowledge that follows is the most practical, and therefore the most dangerous, part of this lecture. You will learn to see the signs that are designed to be invisible. Subscribe now, and make sure you do not miss the tools that could change your life. Knowing the theory is useless without practical application. We now move from the philosophical to the tactical. Your husband's secret kingdom has a border, and all borders have patrols, checkpoints, and tells. Your mission is to become a master observer. This is not about snooping through phones. That is the act of a desperate amateur. This is about forensic psychology. You are not a suspicious wife, you're a profiler analyzing a subject. Tactic 1. The analysis of linguistic drift. Language is the map of a person's inner world. When that inner world splits, the language changes. Pronoun shiftive. Listen carefully to his use of I versus Y. A man building a separate sovereign self will begin to subconsciously distance himself from the marital unit. We should go to the hardware store becomes I need to go to the hardware store. Our finances become the finances. It is a subtle linguistic declaration of independence. Eve vocabulary import-export. He will pick up new words, phrases, or opinions from his new environment, the mistress. He may suddenly use a slang term he never used before, develop a new taste in music he once mocked, or express a political opinion that seems alien to him. Conversely, he may stop using the private language, the pet names, the inside jokes that belong to the shared world of your marriage. He is exporting those to his other life, or retiring them completely. And that's the over-explanation. A truthful person is often concise. A deceiver, conscious of the gap in his story, will often fill it with unnecessary detail. When asked, "How was your day?" a simple, "Fine, busy," is normal. A 5-minute monologue about traffic, a difficult coworker, and a boring lunch is a narrative constructed to sound believable. He is building a verbal fortress around a lie. A tactic 2, the behavioral anomaly patterns of a divided life. Humans are creatures of habit. A secret life requires new habits, and these create statistical anomalies in his behavior. Lasser, the calculus of time attract not his excuses, but the there's pattern of his absences. Is he consistently needed on a specific weeknight? Does he have business trips that always seem to fall on a Thursday, Friday? The specific reason is irrelevant, the pattern is the truth. A man having an affair is not randomly absent. He is absent according to the logistical demands of his double life. It is a schedule. Rest the hygiene paradox. Notice a sudden, heightened interest in his appearance. A new cologne, a new workout regimen, a sudden concern about his wardrobe. While self-improvement is positive, in this context, it is often not for you. It is for the new audience. It is the actor preparing for his performance. Conversely, he may become less concerned with his appearance at home, saving his best self for his other life. As the technology tells chaos, the password panics. His phone, which once lay casually on the coffee table, now never leaves his person. He angles the screen away from you. He takes it into the bathroom. This is not a sign of guilt. It is a sign of classified material. Second, the notification purge. His phone is perpetually on silent. He has disabled message previews. He has become a master of the pocket check, the swift, furtive glance at his phone to consume a message without alerting you. This is counter-surveillance tradecraft. The digital cleanliness. His browser history is pristine. His social media messages are oddly empty. A normal human digital footprint is messy. A clean digital footprint is a curated one. It is evidence of destruction. Tactic 3: the emotional atmosphere, raiding the energy beyond words and actions. You must become a sensor for the emotional climate of your relationship. Raid the gaze of assessment in. He will look at you differently. There will be moments when you catch him observing you not with love or familiarity, but with a cold, analytical assessment. He is calculating your mood, your level of suspicion, your buy into his narrative. You are no longer his partner, you are a variable in his strategic equation. Accent the unprovoked accusation, a classic projection technique. Out of nowhere, he may become suspicious of you. He might ask who you're texting, or make a joking comment about you and a male friend. This serves two purposes. It projects his own guilt onto you, making him feel less culpable. And it puts you on the defensive, forcing you to prove your loyalty while his own goes unexamined. The manufactured conflicts say, he may pick fights over trivial matters. This serves as emotional justification for his actions. See, she's unreasonable. This is why I seek solace elsewhere, and creates a convenient emotional distance. The fight gives him a reason to be cold, to sleep in another room, to need space that he will fill with his other life. These are not guarantees of guilt, they are data points. A single anomaly is noise. A cluster of anomalies, a pattern across linguistic, behavioral, and emotional domains, is a signal. It is the emergent pattern of a divided consciousness. But what do you do with this knowledge? Do you confront him? Do you wait? Do you fight? The final stage of this education is the most critical, moving from detection to strategy, from victim to sovereign. This is the point where many feel a cold dread. But knowledge is not a burden, it is a weapon. If you are still with me, if you are recognizing these patterns, drop a brain emoji in the comments. It is a signal that you are choosing wisdom over willful blindness. In confrontation, in the classical emotional sense, is a strategic error. Tears, accusations, and ultimatums are the weapons of the desperate. They play directly into the cheater's narrative of the hysterical wife versus the calm, rational man. You must not fight on his terms. You must change the game. This is not about winning him back. That is a separate, personal choice. This is about reclaiming your power, your sanity, and your strategic position. You must become the sovereign of your own reality. As phase 1, the withdrawal of emotional capital. Remember the corporate raider. He is stealing your emotional resources to fund his venture. Your first move is to cut off the supply. Ever become a fortress of calms. Stop seeking his emotional validation. Do not ask him if he's okay. Do not try to fix his moodiness. Become pleasantly self-contained. Your emotional state becomes independent of his. This is unnerving to a manipulator who relies on predictable emotional responses. FF practice strategic withholding day. You have been providing wifely services, emotional labor, domestic management, intimacy. These are resources. Begin to reallocate them to yourself. Be busy. Have your own plans. Invest in your own friends, your own hobbies, your own body. Make yourself less available. When he feels the withdrawal of your energy and attention, the cost of his double life begins to rise. He is no longer raiding a willing treasury, he is besieging a fortress. Phase 2, the intelligence gathering campaign. Do not accuse, gather evidence. But do so with the cold precision of an auditor, not the frantic hunger of a jealous lover. Become a historian, not a detective to start documenting the anomalies. Keep a simple, factual journal. April 12, I said he was X, but credit card charge at Y. April 18, came home at 11 p.m, showered immediately. This is not for him, it is for you. It objectifies the situation, pulling you out of the emotional storm and into a state of analytical clarity. It prevents gaslighting. Why secure your own kingdom? This is critical. Meet with a lawyer, not to file for divorce, but to understand your legal landscape. Separate your finances where possible. Secure your important documents. This is not an act of aggression, it is an act of strategic preparedness. When you know your bottom line, you operate from a position of strength, not fear. Phase 3, the masterful conversation, the art of the unspoken ultimatum if, and when you choose to speak. The conversation must not be, did you cheat? That gives him the power to deny, and you the burden of proof. The conversation must be about you and your new, unassailable position. You sit him down. You are calm, your posture is open but firm. You say something like this: I need to speak with you. I have noticed a significant shift in the atmosphere of our marriage. I feel a distance that I cannot ignore. I have also noticed specific changes in your behavior, your language and your energy. I am not going to list them, and I am not going to ask you for an explanation right now. Pause. Let the silence hang. This silence is more powerful than any accusation. What I want you to know is this: I am at a crossroads. I love the man I married, and I am committed to the family we have built. But I will not participate in a fiction. I will not live in a relationship where I feel like a warden or a detective. That is not who I am. So I am giving you some time, a week perhaps, to look inward, to decide who you are and what you want. And after that time, if the man who sits before me is not fully present, fully committed, and fully honest, then I will have to make a decision for my own well-being and future. And you should know that I have already begun to prepare for every possible outcome. Then you stop talking. You get up and you leave the room. What have you done? You have not accused him. You have stated an objective reality shift. You have not given him data to refute. I'm not going to list them. You have shifted the power dynamic. You are no longer the pursuer. You are the evaluator. You have issued an unspoken ultimatum wrapped in sovereign calm. You have revealed your own strategic preparedness, prepared for every possible outcome, showing him you are not a helpless victim, but a formidable counterpart. You have placed the burden of choice and the terror of the unknown squarely on his shoulders. You have forced the corporate raider to consider the cost of his war. You have made his secret kingdom a liability, not an asset. This is how you reclaim your power, not by catching him, but by transcending the game entirely. We have journeyed deep into the dark psychology of the cheating husband. We have explored the sovereignty paradox, the narcissistic supply chain, and the existential terror that drives him. We have seen his tactics mirrored in the strategies of princes, spies, and corporate raiders. And we have outlined a sovereign's defense, a path from victimhood to strategic empowerment. But I will leave you with one final, uncomfortable truth. Carl Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." The cheating husband is a manifestation of a universal human shadow, the desire for freedom warring with the need for security, the thirst for validation battling the voice of integrity, the terror of death driving us to desperate acts of self-affirmation. His betrayal is a dark, distorted mirror. Do not look into it and see only a monster. Look into it and see the parts of the human soul that you too must manage. Your own capacity for deception, for selfishness, for creating secret narratives. The ultimate defense against the dark psychology of another is not a better set of tactics. It is the ruthless, unflinching integration of your own shadow. To become so whole, so self-possessed, so clear in your own boundaries and values, that you become immune to the emotional machinations of others. A man who is building a secret kingdom requires a subject to rule. When you crown yourself the sovereign of your own life, you abdicate from his. You become a power he can no longer control, manipulate, or deceive. You become a mystery greater than his own. And in the world of strategy, the greatest power belongs not to the one with the most clever deception, but to the one who no longer has anything to hide. If this masterclass has opened your eyes, reshaped your understanding, and given you a new lens through which to see the world, then your journey is just beginning. Share this video with someone who needs this wisdom. Subscribe to this channel, because our next lecture will delve into an even darker facet of human nature. The art of social domination, how to make anyone see you as the alpha. It will change how you walk into a room, how you negotiate, and how you command respect without saying a word. Thank you for your courage. Until next time, remain strategic.